for some other day. Only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking up without the same mistake. Darling, will you go away? It won't be as simple for you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Red Devil Studio. It's me, Mesa, hosting the preview for Manchester United versus Wolves. Everyone please hit the like and subscribe button. We are doing absolutely well with the channel so far. So the preview for today, let's get rolling with it. So here's a good question what we do have. Will United beat Wolves? And today I'm going to give all the information for Manchester United versus Wolves. But before I do the information, I'm going to put my predicted lineup on of who I think is going to start for Manchester United versus Wolves. So I've got this as a 4-2-2 formation, just because I think this is going to be Rangnick's way of playing now, going forward. So he's going to stick to this formation. There is several news what is out at the moment. Lindelof coming back from coronavirus being one, and Varane being fit to start. So this could be a potential centre-back partnership. However, Harry Maguire still does remain available. Eric Bayer, he has picked up a knock from the last game. However, he has now gone to the African nations, so we probably won't see Eric Bailly now till at least February. So this centre-back partnership, it is going to be a tough one of who to pick. But for me, if I was going to pick my personal centre-back partnership, I would like to see Victor Lindelof there. But I think if he does come on, he will most likely be as a substitute, maybe. I don't think Ralph is going to want to start him too early, knowing that he has been out for a bit. And the last time he did play, he did have to come off as a substitute, just due to himself having breathing difficulties on the pitch. But we will start with this 4-2-2 formation. Big up to you too. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Adam, 4-2-2 formation, aka Pitchfork of Death. I understand exactly why people don't like that 4-2-2 formation, but I think the way Ralph was explaining it, it was more for the point that it's like two people are linking up together each time. So it's like you've got one person on the ball, and then for United, there's two people there ready to try and get that ball to be won back to United. So I can see why the 4-2-2 formation can look that pitchfork of death when you have seen, of course, the Newcastle game with St. Maximum. He did run us ragged, but fingers crossed, once we start getting used to this formation, it will be a lot more better. And hello to you too, my queen. Thank you for tuning in. So we'll start with the goalkeeper. For me, it is 100% going to be David De Gea. David De Gea, he has done absolutely amazing this season. People will argue that he has been the best player at Manchester United so far this season. With his current form, he is definitely an undroppable player. He's made so many saves for us. He's helped us out on a lot of messes. He's helped us with victories such as our Norwich game, because even though Ronaldo did get that penalty, De Gea did make some magnificent saves, what did stop Norwich from claiming 3 points from us. The right-back situation, some people are a bit 50-50. Wan-Bissaka played an absolute magnificent game for me last game. I thought he played brilliant up against Burnley. He did his one-on-ones, his tackles were absolutely brilliant, and people would argue for the Newcastle game, Dalot wasn't on his greatest form. But for me, I think knowing that the game who we've got, Wolves, because for me with Wolves, they're much more of a defensive team. If you look at Wolves, they're not too bad in terms of the table, what they are at this moment in time. However, they are the team who has scored many goals. They do have goal scorers such as Jimenez, but he hasn't really put that many away. So I think what Ralph is going to look at doing, just knowing how defensive Wolves are, I think he's going to go for a more of an attacking team, and I think he will want Dalot there just so he can go forward that little bit, try and get into these narrow spaces, because some people do argue that Dalot is much better in terms of going forward, and I think that is what Ralph is going to want to do. He is going to want that more of an attacking kind of fullback. So for me, I think he is going to go with Dalot for this game. So we'll put Dalot in as the right back. So we've got now our centre-back partnership. We might as well just put it in already. Varane is going to be there. We all know when Varane plays, even though people said Varane didn't play that good against Newcastle, came in as a substitute for Burnley because of Eric Bailly picking up that knock. However, he's still such a key player at Manchester United. I feel like the team, the back line, is a lot more comfortable with Varane there. He holds that great leadership on the pitch as well in the back four, and he is definitely an undroppable player. He's a serial winner, and not having Varane on the pitch is definitely a big loss. Just as Ralph has stated about Varane, I definitely do believe that if we keep Varane fit, he is definitely going to be a very key player for us in this next coming months or so. And if that's going to help us in that top four or even get into the top two, which you always got to keep the optimism, he will be key if we do hold him fit. So the other centre-back who I think is going to start, I think it is going to be Harry Maguire. Although I would prefer to see a Victor Lindelof and Varane partnership, because we knew it did work when Harry Maguire was injured. I think knowing that even though Lindelof is come back, he has come back since coronavirus, but I think what Ralph is going to want to do, I think he's going to be extremely careful of how he does approach Victor Lindelof, because he's been out for several games. He had to be substituted off because of breathing difficulties. So I think he'll probably want to build that little bit more fitness back into Lindelof, making sure he is perfectly okay before we can put him in that starting 11 lineup. So I do believe it's going to be Harry Maguire who will play. And maybe we might see Victor Lindelof perhaps maybe in the next game, if that's going to be against Aston Villa or the next Premier League game. But for me, it's going to probably be Harry Maguire who will start alongside Varane. So we'll put Harry Maguire there. And our left back situation, for me, this is going to be one of the most difficult positions. So let me know in the comments who you think should be in the left back position, because we look at Telles. For me, Telles is such a good player. He's so good at going forward. People say that Telles can't defend. But for me, I actually think the games what Telles has played, he hasn't even done too bad defensively, because when you look at the stats, he has done the best in terms of his tackles. So for me, Telles is a player who you really do deserve that starting 11 lineup. His set pieces, his corners, his free kicks. I actually personally believe Telles is one of our best players to do them. All these free kicks, all these corners, these set pieces. But for Luke Shaw, even though the season, it isn't his best season, because I think knowing that he's done so well in the Euros, knowing he's done so well in last season as well. I think we was expecting that form to come back from Luke Shaw, but we didn't see that of him. But when he played against Burnley, I feel like that was his best game this season. And I think he has really, that game in particular, he really has shown to me that, yes, he can start if, for example, we do need him to start. But I do believe Telles, he hasn't done too much wrong for me. And I do believe he should still be in the Man United squad. I think, though, when you do look at Dalot is an attacking kind of fullback, and I think what Ralph will want to do, because I think he will want an attacking starting 11 lineup, I think most likely he will go for Telles, just because of the qualities Telles has. So, and how he's quite fast on the pitch as well, which I really like about Telles too. So I think it's going to be Telles in our left back situation. So we'll put Telles there. So that is what I've predicted so far in the first 5 players. Football Studio, hello, thank you for tuning in. I agree. I definitely do believe Dalot will start, just more for the reason that I think he will want to go all attacking in this starting 11 lineup, especially knowing how Wolves do play and knowing that they don't score too many goals. So I think he's going to rely on the CDM parts of the 4-2-2, and he's going to rely on the centre backs and De Gea in terms of defensively, and he's going to use these full backs now for the creativity to help who I predict is going to be in our attacking midfield and our striking option. FIFA derbies, hello, thank you for tuning in. I do agree with you that I do think that Harry Maguire should be dropped, but I just believe because of Victor Lindelof being out for so long, I think he is going to give Harry Maguire that one last chance to redeem himself as a player. So yeah, I do agree. He should be dropped. It should be Lindelof or even Eric Bayer, but Eric Bayer's not got that knock now. He's off to the African nations, and Lindelof, he does need to be closely examined. Robert, he does agree with FIFA derbies. Red Devil Studio, I wish Harry Maguire was dropped, and he does believe Telles does deserve a run. Yeah, I do agree Telles does deserve a run. He hasn't done too much wrong for me in terms of a player. Last season, we didn't see too much of Telles because when you've got Luke Shaw, who's been such amazing form, you don't want to drop that kind of player. But when he did play in the Europa League, he looked extremely rusty. But now he's been having these little bit of game time. Alex Telles, he's been brilliant, and I can't knock him one bit. So I agree, he does deserve to have that run. And yes, to FIFA derbies, Luke Shaw, he did play okay in the last game. If, for example, I didn't give my man of the match to Scott McTominay, it would have been Luke Shaw, because I think he was one of them standout players for me. He did absolutely amazing. Him and Sancho link-up play was great. I really liked it. Robert agreeing there with Red Devil Studio. Wolves will struggle to score goals. Yes, Wolves hasn't actually scored that many goals this season, so we definitely do need to go onto the press. I do agree with that comment, and I think this is what our plan is going to be with the fullbacks for that extra attacking option, because as much as everybody does love Wan-Bissaka as a player, I think Dalot is the better fullback for pressing and for going forward, because we do know what Dalot is like when he's fully fit and on form. We have seen that in that Arsenal game. We've seen it in quite a couple of games. I think it was just the Newcastle game what really did let Dalot down so far. FIFA derbies, I'm worried about Traore. For me, with Adama Traore, he's so good on the pace. He's so strong, he's broad, so he is going to be that kind of player what you are going to fear. But what I've noticed about Adama Traore compared to the other Wolves players, he's got the pace, but he hasn't got anything else. If you look at the Wolves game, every single Wolves game I've watched this season, he could make 14 crosses into the box in the entire game, but only two of them will be successful for me. His crosses aren't the same anymore. he isn't a goal scorer neither. Yeah, for me, he's just got a pace, and that is it. He's not giving the service to Jimenez. He hasn't gave the service to Fabio Silva when he's played. So I'm not particularly worried about Traore, to be honest. I'm more worried about other players. Kilman, for instance, in corners, because he's very good, Kilman, and that'll be a player who I actually am probably most worried about. Podence, he's another player who I would be extremely worried about. But Traore, I'm not too worried about him because it's just the pace more than anything. And our fullbacks also do have pace. Both Dalot and Tellez is very quick. So if they was on the attack, they can easily go back on the defensive mode as well. Yeah, Traore isn't that good. I do agree. I don't think Traore isn't that good, and it's just his pace more than anything. Just tuned in. Big up to you too, Niall. Thank you for tuning in. So we'll go next onto the 4-2-2 formation. So we'll go with the CDM part. So this is going to be an interesting one. A lot of people have been calling for Donny van de Beek to start. Scott McTominay, he played an absolute blinding game against Burnley. I think he played absolutely brilliant, and I couldn't follow him. His goal, he was there. He had a couple of shots on target, and what I think helped with Scott McTominay was he had Matic alongside him. With Matic, he is that proper CDM which United need. So I think Scott McTominay is going to play. However, instead of Matic, I think it's going to be Fred. Because Fred is a pressing type of player. He's absolutely brilliant, Fred. And I think this is going to be the perfect game for him. So I'm going to say it's going to be a Scott and Fred partnership, because I do believe Scott is not going to be dropped after the last performance. Although I would argue that I think Fred should... Scott should be dropped and maybe try a Matic and Fred. Because Fred is also a box-to-box midfielder as well as Scott. And it'd be good for Fred, as well as he is good defensively, to have that a bit more freedom going forward as well, because we do know what he's like when he's got a proper CDM alongside him when he has played a game for Brazil. So I'm going to go for Fred and Scott. I think that's going to be the two CDM partnerships, Scott McTominay and Fred. So this is going to be the attacking midfield now. Robert thinks Donny and Fred. I do feel like with Donny, I think he is going to probably end up leaving. I think he's going to go on a loan deal, to be honest. And it's going to be interesting where he is going to go out on loan. But I feel like for me, there is something what's going on behind backstage why Donny isn't starting. Because a lot of people have been calling for Donny to start, and we haven't seen anything of Donny. And if it's two managers, you need to know more. Is it something in the back room, or is it that the training isn't good enough? We just need to know about that further. And I think the best one we need to do, loan into a Premier League club. Perfect option, maybe Newcastle could be a good option. Maybe Brighton could be another good option, because Donny is still only very young, and Graham Potter is good with young players too. So I think that could be another good shout, but I would loan him to a Premier League club. He's not going to start Donny. He is leaving in January. I agree. I think he's going to go out on a loan deal. Niall, I will go for Scott and Fred. He won't start Donny, in my opinion. Completely agree. And Robert thinks Bruno and Sancho as the attacking midfield. For me, on the left, I will also go with Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez did have a suspension last game against Burnley due to picking up so many yellow cards. So he is back now. Bruno Fernandez, I think especially when he has McFred behind him, he is so much better on the ball. He allows him to go forward that little bit more as well. As much as I do feel like Bruno Fernandez, he hasn't had such a good season so far. He's still got the highest assists in the Champions League, still had the most chances created in the Premier League and the Champions League, and he is that kind of influential player who you do need on the pitch. And I think once he does get that proper link-up play with Ronaldo, Cavani, even having that link-up play with Sancho, I think it will just take that a little bit of time. Because when we did look at the calendar year, Bruno Fernandez has played 72 games, which is the most in Europe. So you can understand he is very fatigued and he does need to have that little bit of rest. But I think especially if we have got the next game after that, it is going to be next Monday. It's going to be the FA Cup for Aston Villa. I think he's going to start him and he's going to rest him for Aston Villa next week. So I do believe that it is going to be Bruno Fernandez on the left. So I'll put Bruno Fernandez there on the left. And on the right, I do really like Greenwood as a player. He's absolutely brilliant. But I actually think Sancho is the better option for me right now. I think Sancho has played absolutely brilliant in these last month or two for Manchester United. It feels like the Manchester United shirt isn't as heavy on him anymore, and he has been playing some blinding games. It's just a shame that he didn't get that goal, and it was classed as an own goal for Ben Mee last game, because he played absolutely brilliant. And I feel like, especially now he's playing on the right-hand side, he's been allowed that more freedom. He's a lot more comfortable as well. And I am very excited to see on how Sancho is going to be over these next couple of months or so. So I am going to go with Sancho on the right, as I do believe that he does deserve to be in that starting 11 lineup for Manchester United. Just as Robert has said, Bruno and Sancho to start. FIFA derbies, I think Bruno should be dropped. Did we miss him or Rashford? For me, I just think Bruno is too much a good player to be dropped, because we do know the kind of player he is when he does play. I really do like Bruno Fernandez as a player, and I think especially now, and he's going to get a rest for a week, and I think he won't start for Aston Villa, so he's going to have that little bit of a rest now anyway. So I think he is going to start, and especially in some games, he is going to be a big miss compared to other players. And that's why I would personally start Bruno Fernandez. Niall, this is tough for a centre attacking midfield. Sancho and Bruno, I need to agree with you, Maisie. It's put me on the spot. It's like Football Manager and FIFA. I could play better than Rashford. Mike, take Maguire out. Yeah, I do agree with the Maguire situation. I don't believe he should play. However, with Harry Maguire, knowing that Lindelof, he's coming back from coronavirus and he did get substituted off due to breathing difficulties, I do believe Harry Maguire will start for this game. And Eric Bailly also picked up a knock and is in the African nations now. So this is why I do predict Harry Maguire will be in that starting 11 lineup. But if I was going to pick, I would, of course, pick Victor Lindelof alongside Varane. It was a shame for Sancho. I do think Greenwood has been unlucky. Yeah, I agree. Greenwood has been very unlucky because he's still had such good form at the moment. Greenwood has scored a few goals so far, and he's been absolutely brilliant for me. Such a brilliant prospect from the youth academy. But I wouldn't personally start Greenwood as an attacking midfield. I would start him in that attacking role if I was going to start Mason Greenwood, but there is players ahead who I do believe should be there before Greenwood, but I think he will be there if, for example, there is going to be injuries. He will 100% start, but if not, he will come on as a substitute. I Max It Football, hello to you. I hope you're well. Robert, my front two is Ronaldo and Cavani. Yeah, just as Red Devil Studio says, please hit the like button and the subscribe button, and thank you very much. I Maxi Football, thank you so much for that super sticker. It means so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. And Niall, for the front two, I'm going for Ronaldo and Cavani because Maisie knows he's a handsome man, big Tarzan. You know me already. I've got my Edinson Cavani top on as well, actually. So that does lead me to the attacking option. For me, it is going to be exactly what people has said in the comments. I am going to go with a Ronaldo and Cavani link-up. It has been announced today, it has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano that Edinson Cavani is not leaving Manchester United in January, as Ralph has come out and said that he is very important in his plans. So that will question to me if he's going to sign a contract extension later on. But he is, for me, an undroppable player. His pressing is unbelievable. We all know if Edinson Cavani has a clear chance of scoring, we do know 9 out of 10 times he will get that on target and he will score. He's such a hungry wolf, such a good player on and off the ball. He's all over the pitch, and he is a player, especially when you have noticed since this 4-2-2 formation, that he has been such a big miss for Manchester United, and knowing that he is back, he is a player who we can't afford not to play. So for me, he is going to play most likely for me on the right. So we'll put him there on the right, and on the left, of course, it is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. We all know Cristiano Ronaldo. He is one of them players who is better to receive the service rather than him finding the ball like Edinson Cavani and getting that goal. But for me, this link-up for Ronaldo and Cavani is absolutely perfect because Cavani can find the ball, create that chance for Ronaldo. And we all know as well that Sancho can drop back and have a look for the ball. And we all know Bruno can drop back as well. So this formation in itself is good for Ronaldo because it allows him to stay up front. And then Cavani, Rashford, Cavani, Sancho, and Bruno can all there find the ball, pick it up, and then pass the service to Cristiano Ronaldo. So for me, this is what my predicted lineup is going to be. Of course, there can be some different options. Rashford could potentially start over Bruno Fernandez, or he could start over Edinson Cavani. Greenwood is another option who could potentially start. For me, I think if Greenwood is going to come on, it will be as a substitute. And plus as well, we also do have Aston Villa in the FA Cup. So I think that is going to be when Greenwood is going to play in that starting 11, and I do believe it will be up front. If he is going to be up front, it probably most likely be as probably most likely alongside Alanga. But looking at this lineup in particular, what I have pulled out, I do feel pretty confident. It is a very good lineup to come out with, very attacking, which I think we do need to have. We do need to have an attacking lineup for this game in particular, and just knowing how Wolves do play as a team. So personally for me, I think this is just going to be best because we got Telles, Dalot, who can run around on the sides and they can drop back if needed. Scott, he may potentially come back more as a CDM, allowing Fred to press going forward. Bruno Fernandez there to have that link-up play with Ronaldo. Sancho having that link-up play with Edinson Cavani. Cavani picking up the ball, passing it to Ronaldo. And for me, that is just absolutely perfect. But we do need to break down Wolves. And we all know Wolves is an extremely hard team to break down. So it'll be interesting to see. In terms of the news for Manchester United coming in, Bruno Fernandez, as I've mentioned, he will return from suspension. There has been no confirmation if he is going to start, but especially knowing he's had that little bit of a break. He's from his suspension because he did pick up 5 bookings overall this season. He picked up against Newcastle. So he is back. And I do believe that he is going to be playing. In terms of Lindelof, he did test positive for coronavirus, but he is rumoured to be back. I don't think he will start just because he does need to have that look. I feel like he needs to get back into the game. And it has been rumours that Varane is looking to start instead of Eric Bayer. As I did mention, he is going to be off to the African Cup. and he did pick up a knock. There's been no confirmation of how long Eric Bailly will have this knock for. It may be for a couple of games or so. But in terms of injuries for ourselves, the only player who is injured at this moment in time is Paul Pogba. He is still out with that thigh injury. So if you do look at this formation in particular, where would Paul Pogba play if he was fully fit? Because we still got, would he play there over the Bruno Fernandez, or would he get played there alongside Fred? That'd be quite interesting to know. So once Paul Pogba is back, if nothing happens in this transfer window, it'll be interesting to see what Rangnick's plans are for Paul Pogba. So that will be very interesting going forward. In terms of the news for Wolves, they did have their game called off at Arsenal just due to an outbreak of the coronavirus. But at the moment, Bruno Lage, who is the Wolves manager, he still isn't 100% sure who is available so far for his team. So it is going to be interesting to see on how strong their squad is going to be, because we all know their strongest lineup, they are going to have, of course, Jimenez playing, Traore playing, Podence playing, and there's going to have Kilman there, Conor Coder. So it's going to be extremely interesting of what their lineup is going to be, especially knowing they did have, of course, several coronavirus cases, and if they do have a starting 11 team to play. So especially knowing that he isn't sure, maybe that could be still in doubt for the game, but there is no confirmation if, for example, that the game is going to get called off. There is a couple of injuries though so far for Wolves. Johnny, he's got a knee injury. Nito has got a knee injury as well. Hehan has got a hamstring injury. Yerson, he's got a hamstring injury. Abola has got a calf injury, and they have been confirmed. They have got these injuries, so they're definitely not playing. They won't be on the bench. They won't be in the starting 11 lineup. And Ryan, he has rumoured to have a groin problem, so he could be another player who is out for Manchester United. So it will be extremely interesting of how this will be. But when we do look at the stats, Manchester United has won our last 3 games against Wolves, and Wolves have been winless in their last 10 away league games against Manchester United. So the last time they have had really a win against us in the Premier League away, it was in February 1980, and they have failed to score on several of occasions during the time where they have been winless. They've only scored 3 goals against Manchester United. So when you do look at these stats, they are extremely positive. Look at this lineup, also extremely positive. I'll go through the comments and I'll wrap it up from there. So Robert has said Liverpool and Chelsea 2-2 halftime. Extremely good game from what I've heard. It's going to be extremely interesting because some people was predicting goals. I wasn't 100% sure on the goals, but by the looks of it, it is definitely a good game for a neutral. I'm actually football. Bless up. Niall, what a goal by Kovacic. It's one of the goals of the season. I'm going to have a look at that probably on Match of the Day because I do feel like Kovacic is a very underrated player. Great game for a neutral. Robert is hoping for a draw. FIFA derbies. Pogba will play alongside McTominay. I agree. However, I do believe he'll probably play alongside Fred just due to how much pressing that Fred is. Robert thinks Pogba will play with Fred, exactly how I thought. Red Devil Studio would love to see Pogba and Matic back in the midfield. Yeah, Pogba and Matic. And with Matic, it does give a lot more freedom to Paul Pogba. But for me, when Paul Pogba plays, I do feel like Bruno Fernandez isn't at his attacking kind of play. So it is very interesting to see on where his plans are at Manchester United for Ralph. Matic too slow. For me, I do think Matic is so calm on the ball, and I don't particularly feel like we need Matic to be a quick player just because he is that sole CDM. He could literally just be here in the middle of Varane and Maguire. He could just literally be a rock just in front of them. He doesn't need to do too much. He doesn't need to go forward. He's just there as that extra defender, just to secure us that victory or to secure us the clean sheets. But yes, I will go now to my prediction to wrap it up. For me, I'm going to say that this game, it is going to be a difficult test for Manchester United. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I think we're going to get a clean sheet, fingers crossed, especially knowing how Wolves have been in their attacking play this season. I feel like these 2 goals, I'm going to predict Edinson Cavani is going to score, and I'm going to go with a Jadon Sancho's goal as well. So they're the 2 players who I predict is going to score 2-0 for Manchester United. Ready then for our FA Cup game against Aston Villa. And Red Devil Studio, I think we should beat Wolves, but it won't be high scoring. I predict 1-0. Robert thinks it's going to be 2-1 for Manchester United. FIFA Derbies going to go with 2-0, just like me. Niall, get the stream to 3k subs. Thank you so much there, Niall. I forgot to say yours is 2-1 because Wolves are not a first half team. Yeah, so mine is going to be 2-0. I just want to say to everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in to the channel. Please hit the like and subscribe button. With me, myself, you can find me on my YouTube channel as well, which is Devils United. I'll be going live there myself at 6 o'clock for my weekly transfer show. So you can catch me through there. You can catch me here on Red Devil Studio. If you are watching this back, please write on the comment section about your score predictions. I'd love to hear everyone's score predictions if you are watching it back. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you to Red Devil Studio, and thank you there to my queen as well. Until then, I will see you all very, very soon. It is a goodbye for now.